we're doing. Back with the third show, Truly Undeniable. Coming with a powerful one today.
We black people.
We're gonna get off into this religion. The introduction of religion, the effects of religion, and does religion work? Them the questions. Let's get the answers. I see you gotta ask yourself these questions. You really gotta ask yourself these questions at some point in time. You really do. Cause you know, first of all, you got so many different religions. To the average person, it's probably confusing. You see what I'm saying? You got Christianity, you got Islam, you got Judaism, Hebrew Israelites, Catholics, Jehovah's Witness. You know, you got Ephesians. You got all kind of different religions. But see, when you dive off into it, you got different books. But when you look at what's going on in the book, you got the same people in all of the books, even though they're different religions. So see, what you will have is different religions. You know, one saying this one right, this one saying this one wrong, this one saying this one better than this one. But at the end of the day, is it working? What is it doing? Who right, who wrong? How did we become introduced to these things? And you have to understand this. What you believe in right now ain't always what you so-called believed in, or our people believed in. We always had a spiritual belief system. As black people, we introduced that to the world. We was the first ones to give thanks for food and clothing, and you know, but they wasn't necessarily giving, it wasn't in the form that you see it in now. It wasn't like, thank you, Father, they wasn't doing that. That ain't what they was doing. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't even kill an animal unless they knew they was going to use it for the good. You see what I'm saying? They were spiritual people. We always been spiritual people. So, but that wasn't the form of spirituality that we have now. You see, this religion, we didn't start Christianity. Black people ain't started Christianity. Black people ain't started Islam. Black people ain't started Judaism. Or none of these religions that we practice in these present day and times. And the way we was introduced to these religions was under basically terrorism. You see what I'm saying? And it was, if you want to look at it, it was modern. It was basically terrorism. This wasn't something that you said, well, I think I want to, you know, this ain't something that come from us. This came from the outside and was introduced to us. You see, when you really go back and look at it for what it is, it was always something that was used to, you know, neutralize black people. Kind of make you put your guard down. You see what I'm saying? And say, well, you know, because back then when you first was being introduced to it, they would tell you, oh, our God. You see, because they knew you ain't know nothing about it. So they would refer to it themselves as their God, not yours. Because see, they know you ain't know nothing about it. See? So how did you get to know about it? Slavery. You basically come to know about every religion or be introduced to every religion that you under right now under the means and guidelines of slavery. Whether it was Islam, whether it was Christianity, Judaism, Catholics, whichever one you spin the wheel. It don't really matter because they all participated in it. You have to really understand that. I want you to really understand that. Because see, you might don't understand that these religions played a part in slavery. A major part. The first slave ship was named Jesus. You see, this is the first time black people had even heard of the name Jesus. The first slave ship was named Jesus. The good ship Jesus, as they referred to it. The good ship Jesus. And as a slave, when you would get on the boat, they had a priest would bless the slave. If you go back and look at any kind of old movie like Amistad or something like this, you will see a depiction of what I'm talking about. Where the slave would get on the boat and the priest would be holding the Bible and he would bless the slave like he was doing something good for him. But you still for the time up and put him on the bottom of this boat though. You see what I'm saying? That's what's really going on. So you have to understand how you get to this point. You see? Now before Christianity or before American slavery, let me say that because see, we was introduced to Islam under slavery before we was introduced to Christianity under slavery. See, let that sink in. You was introduced to Islam under slavery, under Arabic rule, under Arabic slavery. The Arabic slave trade went on over 1,000 years. Over 1,000 years. This how you become a Muslim. A black person that back in that time became a Muslim. You see what I'm saying? Which you would have to go back. Islam ain't start the. You would have to go back to like 600 AD. Really like 600 AD. Prophet Muhammad was so-called created around 570 AD, which is basically modern times. So there was no Islam before that because you didn't even have a prophet before that. Because it was said that Prophet Muhammad is the last witness or the last prophet in Islam. So you have to understand, and even and that was, you know, it was used to see. Because let me explain it like this. We are already in Africa. These people coming in under the guidelines of something that they know that you have you got something similar going on, but it ain't the same thing they got. But they know it's similarities in what they talking about their spiritual system is and what yours is. So they come try to befriend you on the strength of the similarities. You see, you being, because see, black people was people that we told the truth. We ain't know nothing about people coming trying to con you and lie to you and say, well, I'm your friend, but I ain't really your friend. And all this type of stuff. See, because if we wasn't your friend, we just said that I ain't your friend. I ain't dealing with you. It wasn't no trickery to it. He come through with some old, well, I want to be your Christian brother. I want to be your Islamic brother. You see, I want to be your Judaic brother. You see, but under what circumstances? You see what I'm saying? You have to understand how deep this run. Let's bring it to America. Let's bring it to America. The slaves was being controlled with this religion more than you could ever believe. You see what I'm saying? Slave masters was so-called religious. They went to church and everything like this. You have to understand that this belief system wasn't your system. This man beating on you Monday through Saturday. Now 6 days a week. On Sunday, he reads you the Bible. That's exactly how this went now. That's exactly how this went. This how you start becoming indoctrinated under the teachings of the Bible. You see, you have to take it back to the start of slavery, which earlier records show more like 1515 in America. You got slaves coming over to the Americas around 1515. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand this around like the same time that the Bible even being produced, just to show you how they running parallel. You see what I'm saying? The Bible being produced around the same time, you see, are starting to be mass produced. You see, around 1450, when Gutenberg started making the printable, the moving press, the moving printing press. You see, then you started getting mass produced Bibles. Before this time, so what was you doing? What was you doing before this time? What was you reading off? See, slavery started. Now listen to what I just told you. Slavery coming to America around 1515. Gutenberg made the movable printing press around 1450. You see, that ain't but a couple years. That's maybe like 60 years before the coming of slaves to America. Now they're using this book to neutralize them. You see what I'm saying? You start being able to see how they implementing the control of this. Now you come on the boat as a slave, you get to America, you ain't never heard of, you still at this time ain't never heard of Jesus. You ain't never heard of none of this book, because you can't even read English. English not your language. You speak a whole nother language, so it ain't like you sitting over there reading English, and ain't like you sitting over there reading no Arabic either, because you ain't no Arab. You're not an Arab. You're not Arabic. You see what I'm saying? You come up now. You come into Islam. You learned how to read Islam up under Arabic slavery, Turkish Arabic slavery, because see, Islam had you as a slave 1,000 years before you even got to America. See? So they had already perfected how to run this operation. By the time they showed the Europeans how to do the Atlantic slave trade, they knew they had to use that Bible in the process of slavery. See? Because once I get you over here in America and I start pumping this Bible on you, what I start telling you? Well, you look, I'm the master. You see? I'm the master, which the word Lord mean master. Look it up. When you say in the name of the Lord, the word Lord mean master. See, you probably never knew that. And you know that might be a shock to you. But don't, you know, I promise it ain't a lie to you. Truly undeniable. The word Lord mean master. And see, and your earthly master, as they say in the Bible, he the one telling you this. Yeah, man, got some powerful literature in that Bible about how they using this, you know, the Bible justify a lot of this, justifies slavery. You have to understand that. If you a person, you say you a Christian, you say you a Muslim, you say you a Hebrew or Judaism or whatever, and you black, understand that the Bible justifies the use of slavery on your kind. The Bible justifies the use of slavery on your kind. It does, man. It does. So see, when they doing this to you, they don't feel like it's wrong. They but we clearly know it's wrong because we the one on the receiving end. You see, this man putting you through slavery and reading you religion at the same time, indoctrinating you in something that's trying to spiritually trap you and take your confidence. You see, you gonna believe, you be ready to hear the Bible too. If somebody beating on you Monday through Saturday, at least you get to sit down on Sunday and ain't got to let nobody beat on you, but you got to sit here and let this man read this book to you. See, because this was going to keep you really from running off this plantation. When he go in the house and go to sleep at night, this book going to keep your ass from running off that motherfucker, because you going to start thinking you going to go to hell and shit. Because he done told you if you run from this shit, and the Bible say that though. If you disobey your earthly master and you run from him, you gon', you know, you disobeying the word of God. Who God is this? See, do you want to be, listen, how you gonna serve a God that's justifying the use of slavery on black people and you a black person? How you gonna serve this God? And you a Christian, you a Muslim, you a whatever you is. This God justifying the use you know, this God ordaining this punishment on you. This God ordaining this punishment on you. And the white man know he done wrote it, so he know it ain't right. You have to understand with these Bibles, ain't no black person right now one of them Bibles, man. Ain't no black person right now one of them goddamn Bibles.